Heading out to some salt pans. We flew over them yesterday, and driving out and we're going to get another aspect of the whole area between here and the coast. The ball dust in this particular area is once again very rough.
The clay and salt pans of the Gulf are the result of many factors. From November to April, also known as the wet, the monsoonal rains, king tides and high winds force the waters of the Gulf of Carpentaria onto the shore. The water gathers in vast flat areas that consist of clay which has poor drainage qualities. The problems are further intensified when the backed up waters from the many rivers in the area are not able to continue their flow into the Gulf. If I hadn't met up with Trish and Gordon, I would never have known how to get out to this area, let alone venture out there on my own. The Carpentaria Basin was formed during the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods. Much of it lies beneath the Gulf waters and extends onshore in Queensland and Northern Territory. During the late Cretaceous period, the margins of the basins were locally faulted, uplifted and eroded prior to the commencement of sedimentation in the overlying Corumba Basin.
We've come about 2.5 miles from the last tree line. The mirage you can see is certainly giving the effect of the water. Approximately 3/4 of the way across this salt pan. A little hump in the middle of the salt pan has given us the idea it's a bit of an island.
The Australian continent is a stable landmass that's been mostly flat for millions of years. Looking at this landscape, it's hard to imagine that in the distant past, Australia had mountain ranges that rivaled the Himalayas in size. But all that is left of those once mighty mountain ranges are scattered across this country, separated by vast areas of flat landscape. The bedrock of the country is mostly granite, with some granite-derived sedimentary rocks such as sandstone, shales and low-grade metamorphics. In a number of cases, the substance of the soils has been through several cycles, including soil to sediment to rock to soil. The floodplains surrounding the Gulf of Carpentaria are made up of fine sediments that form clay that are deposited from suspended loads of rainwater and floodwater. The sediments are carried from these areas that have developed texture contrast soils along rivers to be deposited on these floodplains.
What's it like out there?
Oh, it's good, mate. There's not much mirage. We're getting out of it this way. Just can't see. I was just kicking up a little bit too much dust to see what's behind us.
How far did you see this section would actually go?
I'm just timing it now. I think this is a short one, actually.
Must be coming up pretty close to the tree line now then.
If you look closely on the horizon, there's a small black dot. That's my car. The lack of understanding of the true carrying capacity of the Australian continent has led to the misguided belief by many Australians that a land of this size has plenty of room for many more people. It must be recognised that the comparatively small area of productive agricultural land available on the coastal areas of this country is being continually reduced to accommodate the increasing population. Then there is the problem of the diminishing amounts of fresh water. Flows from the Great Artesian Basin have decreased because of many years of overuse. Even now, more water is being extracted than nature can replenish. The problem of our diminishing water supply continues to plague this country because city people waste so much of the resources.
Over 3 kilometres long that was. Yeah, we're about 36 kilometres away from the shoreline, aren't we?
What was that to tell?
No, it wouldn't be.
Not that far.
No, about 4 or 5 miles.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you say?
Escott's 20.
Is it?
The country goes in about 30 miles when the wet's on or something?
No, one of the cyclones, apparently they reckon it went back 30 miles.
Really?
Well, you can understand the water flooding all over this.
Yeah, and it'd stay here for a long time, I'd say, too.
Well, they had a pretty good wet up here, they tell me.
Yeah.
So, it could be only a couple of months since they've had rain.
Yeah.
I don't think it's, like how long water's been over this, goodness only knows.
These shells are quite a few kilometres away from the sea. Imagine this area was an inland sea at one stage. During the wet, it's supposed to flood right into the inland, and the situation that becomes on the stations is isolation. These shells obviously haven't been brought in with the floods of the wet season. These have been here quite a few thousand years. The Aboriginals wouldn't have come into areas like this because it's just so desolate. There'd be no hunting here at all.
Over the last 3 decades since these videos were shot, the climate has become increasingly erratic. Some years the wet starts early, other years it starts later, and in many parts of the country rain doesn't come at all. Drought has always been a natural disaster that has hit rural communities. If we don't take better care of our water supply, a lot more of Australia could potentially take on the look at this part of the Gulf of Carpentaria. We spent most of the day on that featureless plain. Later in the afternoon, I let Tricia and Gordon get ahead of me, while I decided to spend more time out here on my own, experiencing a landscape I wasn't expected to view again.
the camera, didn't I?